Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Geeks Watch. Today I want to talk about the film Just Getting Started, an image which you will see over my shoulder. The reason I don't have the usual copy of it here is because we watched it on streaming services. About a week or so ago, wife wanted to get pizza, and she's like, well, let's watch something on streaming services. We figured, Morgan Freeman, Rene Russo, Tommy Lee Jones, all great actors. Let's watch it. What could go wrong? How little we knew. There will be some spoilers here. Nothing major. I'll do my usual going over the premise and maybe the first act a little bit. Duke, Morgan Freeman, runs a luxury retirement home in California. The film opens up with a New Jersey woman angrily viewing her television, seeing an advertisement for the retirement home with Duke on it. And she makes an angry phone call to someone saying, hey, this is the guy who put your, this guy's not living a free life while your father's in jail. You need to take care of this. So one of the premises of this film is that, which they give right away, is that Duke is in the witness protection program. Or at least it's implied that. And that the mob is after him. Now, Duke is charming. He seems to run the retirement home fairly well. He's well liked by many of the people there. He throws parties, he organizes the Christmas events, he organizes all the holiday events. The ladies seem to like him quite a bit. He's popular with the ladies, has his own parking spot, and generally seems to be king of the roost. At some point, Leo shows up. I think his name is Leo, which is Tommy Lee Jones' character. Now, in the write-ups and advertisements and trailer stuff in this, he's supposed to be like an ex-FBI agent, but that's never mentioned, I don't think. He's just a businessman, a wealthy businessman. It's never mentioned that he's a former FBI agent. He just is a guy who has got some money, who shows up at the retirement home and parks in Duke's spot and is generally obnoxious and annoying, and kind of puts a cramp in Duke's style by kind of becoming top dog very quickly while pushing Duke out of the way. They both kind of hit on Rene Russo's character. Her name is Susie in the film. Susie, it turns out, is actually from the corporate office for this, this corporate office that runs various retirement homes, and is supposed to look into Duke's activities and check over his books to make sure everything is on the up and up. And Duke has apparently been playing a bit fast and loose. Not necessarily corruption and throwing money in his pockets or anything like that, but he's living the good life on the company's dime. There are a couple attempts on his life, but there's a kind of love triangle between Duke, Leo, and Susie. There's this kind of mob thing going on in the background. And I'll kind of leave it at that. I don't think I need to give too much more detail. That's a general good overview of the plot. Now, this was not a good film. I mean, the actors are all, these are all famous people. They've all done wonderful films. They're all amazing actors, but the fault is all in the script and maybe the directing. Definitely the script. The whole premise of the film is that he's like a guy in the hiding from the mob, and that barely makes a dent in the story for the most part. I mean, it has to do with the finale, but up until then, it's almost nothing. There's someone hides a rattlesnake in his golf bag. There's one of the, it's small, stupid things that and Tommy Lee Jones's character is obnoxious and unlikable. and yet somehow we're supposed to like him. You know, Susie's character makes sense. She's decent, but it's kind of poorly written. Her character's all the characters are poorly written. This film was made in 2017. The guy who wrote and directed it had not made a film since 2003. So, decade and a half between his last film and this one. And I gotta tell you, it shows. You know, I mean, you kind of like Duke's character. You know, Morgan Freeman is an amazing actor. He plays the, you know, the overly self-confident, overly bombastic, smooth, slick-talking guy so well. But then Tommy Lee Jones is obnoxious. The other thing that I didn't like about the writing itself is that Tommy Lee Jones comes off, his character, Leo, comes off as being better than almost everything at Duke right off the bat. I mean, I can see, like, you know, Duke is basically a big fish in a little pond, then a bigger fish comes along in the form of Leo. But, like, you know, he recites poetry, he paints, he beats Duke at poker, he's 10 times better at Duke at golf. There's like 2 things that Duke does better than Leo, and everything else Leo is amazing at. It's like, it's you know, completely unbelievable. I won't say I hated the film. I did moderately enjoy it. I was at least eating pizza while I watched the film, so I love the pizza. You know, I ate half a pizza, I ate 4 slices of pizza, and I had a beer. I enjoyed that. And the film was tolerable. That's the best I can give it. It was moderately amusing and tolerable. This is not, I mean, these 3 actors are amazing. In their defense, you can't always tell a good script by reading it. You know, I've watched lots of interviews with actors, and, you know, they say, I read the script, I thought it was good. You know, you never know if it's going to bomb or not. Even there have been amazingly great films that have bombed the box office. Speaking of bombing, this film did bomb at the box office. It is considered one of the 21st worst openings in history at the time it was released. I don't know if there have been any worse releases since then, but as far as big budget box offices, this thing was a massive bomb, and it deserved it. This should not have been made. Again, I can't fault the actors for not knowing it was going to be a great script. It's difficult to tell from 100, 120 pages on a, you know, in a screenplay, you know, whether it will be a great film or not. So I can't necessarily fault the actors for taking their parts. I blame the writer and the director, who are the same person. So definitely blame him. I would not recommend this film at all. Save yourself the time. This is 2 hours of my life I'm never going to get back. Pizza, beer, and my wife's company notwithstanding, we should have found something better to watch. Man, should we have found something better to watch. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but damn, it's not good. As always, thanks for watching. As always, my stuff is crap. And until next time, good hunting.